Today is Monday. Happy whoop-de-doo Monday to you two there. This is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best. Good Monday morning.
Oh,
Hope
yes.
everybody had a great Easter holiday.
No, it was nice. The
It
weather
was.
the weather was just gorgeous.
But we look like Easter eggs today. How about that? That was not planned.
We do, don't we?
Yes,
How
we
about that? How
do.
about that? Well,
Perfect timing.
although I've often been accused of being cracked. There you go. Okay, that's my Easter Monday
Oh,
joke
my
for
gosh.
you. Today, the 21st of April, it is, and it will be all day, so don't make plans otherwise.
Oh, well, okay.
All right, today in 1895, a fellow by the name of Woodville Latham demonstrated the first use of a moving picture projected on a screen. He did this in New York City, and the rest is history. He did this in 1895 now.
A day or two ago.
Kind of almost like a drive-in movie, because the moving picture had already been established by
Right.
Mr. Edison. So he did this on a screen projected outdoors in New York City, and then from that, I do believe, it doesn't say, but I do believe we got drive-in movie theaters.
Wow. How about that?
How about that? Anyway, birthdays today includes actor Charles Grodin. He's been around a long time.
Sure has.
79 years today, does a great job. Patti LuPone is 65. She was in Evita, Driving Miss Daisy, Wise Guy. She was in a bunch
She's
of
very
other stuff.
good.
She is very good. Tony Danza having a birthday.
Oh,
today.
how old is he?
He's 63. You believe that?
Who's the boss?
He can't. Yeah, Who's the Boss and Taxi
That's
and a bunch
right.
of other stuff. Birthday today for Andy McDowell.
Oh, really?
She is 56 today. Her name is Rosalie Anderson McDowell.
That's her real name?
That's her real name.
How about that?
Multiplicity, Unsung Heroes, Unstrung Heroes, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, and a bunch of other movies. She's good.
Yeah.
Today is the birthday of one Queen Elizabeth II.
Oh, really?
It is
How about
the
that?
Queen
Happy
is having a
birthday.
birthday today. She is 88.
Wow.
She had 4 children, and still has them, in fact.
Yes.
She had Charles, of course, the guy who keeps waiting to become king.
Think it'll ever happen?
I don't know. He's 66 now, I believe.
That's right. Something like that.
65, 66. Who knows, Prince of Wales. Anyway, he's still waiting around. Then there's Anne and Andrew and Edward, who were
That's right.
who were Queen Elizabeth II's mother. She's been queen since I believe it was 56. Anyway, a long time. Anyway, she's 88 today, so happy and everything else.
And you know, her grandson is really stepping into the role. I mean, you know, when I see him, I really truly do see Diana.
Oh yeah, I do too.
And always have.
Yeah.
And he's just so has her mannerisms and her characteristics and a lot of passion for humanity.
Yes.
You just really see that and feel it in him. And
Yeah.
he seems to have picked a very good wife who fits in this role and really seems to have the same passion that he does. And I don't know, I just think that they're really a good couple to represent Great Britain, and I really feel like that a lot of the community is sort of coming behind them and really hoping that he'll be the next leader.
Yeah, I think you're right,
You know?
because some people don't like Charlie.
I know.
They really don't. But I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, and so is his little brother, Harry.
Harry, he's a mess, isn't he?
He is.
Cute as a button.
But he is, but he's smart.
Yes, he is. He
He's
seems
smart,
to be.
and he's a good kid. But you're right.
Brother has a lot on his shoulders and
He's got
has
a
really
lot.
always kind of walked right into the part.
Yeah, and I hope this is not an Prince Edward and the other brother thing from back in the 30s. But anyway, you're right. You're absolutely right. Plus, isn't that the cutest little baby?
I mean, he is adorable.
Precious.
He is so
Well,
cute.
look from where the baby
Well,
came.
true.
Mom and Dad are gorgeous.
Yes, they are.
Yes, indeed. All right, here we go. All right, enough of that.
Well, let me tell you who's on today's show.
Who
before
is
you-
on
How
today's
about that?
program?
On today, you spoke with a representative from Renew Life, talking about
My good friend Pier Tarrant
Yes.
and I have a discussion about brain injury. This is a very important discussion. I want you to hear it. It could happen to anyone.
Absolutely.
Brain injury.
And Renew Life is a wonderful facility right here in Goldsboro, Wayne County. We're very, very lucky and blessed to have it locally.
That indeed we are.
There was a conversation with some folks from Goldsboro Parks and Recreation as well as Goldsboro High School.
Oh.
And they have partnered together. You'll have to wait and stay tuned to find out what they're partnering together to do.
Excellent. Excellent.
That's all on today's show.
All right, today, the 21st of the month, today is Bulldogs Are Beautiful Day.
A lot of people think so.
I kind of like bulldogs.
Do you?
English bulls, French bulldogs, American bull, I like them all.
Good.
Yeah. But now, boxers are not bulldogs. Some people think they are,
Yeah.
but they're not. Today is also National Chocolate Covered Cashews Day. Oh boy.
I'll take that one.
Yes, indeedy.
Especially dark chocolate.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Got to be dark chocolate.
Oh yeah, it's good for you. Sure it is. All right.
We'll say that anyway.
Yeah, we'll say that anyway. All right.
I believe it's time to go on to the interviews, Wayne, so stay with us.
Today I'm very pleased to have in the studio with us Pier Tarrant. My good friend Pier, how are you?
I am fine, Wayne, and how are you, sir?
I'm just great. Good to see you, as always.
Oh, thank you.
I've
Always good to see you,
I've known Pier
too.
for many, many years, and you're a good friend.
We do go way back.
We do that, indeed. Pier, you are with the, we want to talk about the brain injury today.
Yes.
You are a member of a couple of organizations. First of all, with BIANC, B-I-A-N-C. What is that?
The Brain Injury Association of North Carolina. They are probably the most go-to organization in North Carolina for families and survivors of brain injury to find resources and of help. And I am co-chair of their board of directors.
All right, and you're also on the Governor's Council as well. What is that?
The Governor's Advisory Council to Brain Injury. They're clinicians, family members, and also survivors that belong to that council, and they are constantly searching for ways to help survivors and their families.
As a member of these councils and organizations, you're at the forefront, I would say, for people who suffer brain injury. Tell me about brain injury. You don't hear a great deal about that situation. Why is that?
Well, it's called the silent epidemic, so funny that you should say that. And I really don't know why it is. Brain injuries have in the past been very underdiagnosed or misdiagnosed. Take, for example, a child from birth to age 5, a child's brain is in the development stages. It's very soft, it's very vulnerable. But oftentimes a child may suffer a brain injury in that time frame, and then you don't find out about it until later on when a milestone happens, like them starting to walk or starting to talk, or their cognitive world becomes skewed because it doesn't maybe show up until they start trying to do those things, until they're challenged by the world more. And so that bump on the head when they fell off the bed or ran into the table where the TV is or whatever has maybe been forgotten by the time that brain injury shows up. So that's like a very, very real source of misdiagnosis or underdiagnosis.
I can certainly understand that. It seems that when you say brain injury to someone, the first thing they're thinking about is an obvious injury.
Yes.
You see their head, you see someone's head cracked open, or an obvious sign of injury to the head. That's not what we're talking about necessarily.
Not necessarily. You know, when you get to the emergency room after an accident and your arm's halfway hanging on and you have blood all over you, maybe the first thing that they think about is treating that injury and not thinking about needing to do a CT scan or an MRI. But it's also true that initially, many times, a brain injury will not show up on a CT scan. And another area that is very underdiagnosed in the brain injury world are our military men and women.
Ah, yes.
The percussive brain injury in Afghanistan and Iraq, or even the brain injury, the shaken brain when a guy jumps out of an airplane and doesn't land correctly. You know, that brain has been shaken up inside that cranium, and there's no sign of it on the CT scan, and he may be misdiagnosed as having PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, rather than the actual brain injury. 60 Minutes did a really neat little documentary about a year ago called The Invisible Wound. And a young major had a tank commander in Afghanistan. His tank had gone over an IED, and the explosion caused everyone, of course, to be shaken up inside the tank. And the next day he went right back into battle, so to speak, and a very almost identical thing happened. And he had suffered a concussion the first go-around.
Oh my.
The second go-around, that concussion was magnified, and he was never treated for the brain injury. He was never made to rest. And most concussions can really go away if you're just allowed time to rest to get over the effect of your brain being battered around inside your skull, so to speak. So he was such a super troop, Wayne, and he really badly wanted to get back into what he was doing, but his mind wouldn't let him. He couldn't focus. He couldn't organize himself. The military had a lot of money involved in his education with them. They wanted to save him as, you know, to be an effective troop. They finally gave him his dream job, which was to teach at West Point, but he failed at that because he could not organize his brain in the right fashion to be able to do that job. And finally, this gentleman out in Texas had an MRI developed that was detailed enough that they could actually see that brain injury.
Wow.
And he felt, you know, the relief of knowing that that was why he could not deal with his life.
I can't help but feel that this is such a misunderstood problem. Misunderstood in the way, as I mentioned a moment ago, that it's not necessarily a visible injury, that it's within the skull. And we all know and have heard about concussions, but what exactly is a concussion? Is that?
Well, there's several gradations to a concussion. You know, you may be out for like maybe a minute and then regain consciousness. That's certainly a sign of a concussion, is for you to lose consciousness for whatever brief period of time you may. Some people can lose consciousness and their eyes may still be open. It's just that they're not, you know, they're not aware of what's going on around them.
Wow.
You know, our state has instituted the Gefeller-Waller law in honor of 2 young athletes that lost their lives because of concussions on the football field that they sustained. And now, North Carolina schools are required to take that individual, that child, young adult, out of play, have them medically evaluated, and then they have to be medically able to go back to school or return to play. All of that has to be documented. So that's been a huge advancement for the public schools and for basic playground injuries, football injuries, you know, all of the things that can happen to kids when they're playing. You know, no young man wants to disappoint his coach.
That's true.
Disappoint his team.
Right.
But sometimes you just have to stop and heal.
Now, you mentioned resting. Is that generally the first step, or?
It is, yeah. I think, you know, the first night, you know, after you've sustained a concussion, you know, they don't want you to go to sleep, you know, until you're sort of out of that danger zone, because subdural hematomas can result from concussions, you know, where the brain starts to bleed, you know, because a sensitive area was affected. But then after that, yes, you must rest in order to avoid that brain injury from getting worse. And see, that's another thing, you know, our young men and women who serve, many of them are afraid to say that they feel differently.
Oh, sure. If you're not completely up to par, then you're subpar, and that means you're not up to the job, and nobody wants to admit that.
But I'm so thankful that the VA has put so much money and energy into brain injury in the past few years. They've come out with some excellent materials that anyone can access. I wish I had that website with me. But, you know, they are understanding brain injury now much more than they did before, and I think it's definitely creating a more friendly atmosphere for these young men and women to come forward and to say what's happening to them.
In the non-military arena, how hard a hit, or what are some of the more common causes of brain injury? I know automobile accidents have to be in there somewhere.
Motor vehicle accidents, falls are really the #1 cause of brain injury. Yes, and they occur most often in our youth and in our elderly people, of course.
My goodness.
Brain injury is the leading cause of death and disability in our youth in North Carolina. Age 14 and below, it's the leading cause of death and disability.
My goodness.
But, you know, other ways that you can sustain a brain injury certainly are bicycle accidents, you know, where you don't have your helmet.
Guilty. Of course, now when I had my bicycle accident, and this goes way back, and nobody knows about this. I had to be about, I was about 10 years old. And we all rode bicycles, and we never wore helmets because back then we weren't required, and in fact nobody had the idea of wearing a helmet while you're riding a bicycle.
Right.
This was back in the early 50s, or the mid 50s, and of course playing around on a bicycle, I could have really hurt myself. I was knocked unconscious.
Oh, there you go.
And I was out for a while, and that may explain a lot of things. But I mean, but
I think you're perfectly normal, Wayne. I don't know what that says about me.
Well, that says a lot about both of us right there. But the helmet thing, is a helmet required now, or is it strongly suggested?
It's required for children under the age of 16 if they're on a bicycle or a four-wheeler, you know, or any kind of ATV.
Right.
You know, they are supposed to wear them, and you know they should wear them. But parents are supposed to buckle their infants and small children in car seats that have been approved and that are properly installed. But you would be amazed at how many don't. And
you know, that's true.
Yeah, yeah. The only cure for brain injury is prevention. Stop, say no more. You know, you
just don't let it get that far.
Just don't let it get that far. You know, be judicious about taking care of your children. Don't let them run around in the front yard without supervision. You know, if you live next to a busy street.
Yeah.
How many times have we seen that?
Oh boy. I see it a lot.
Yeah, I know. I do too. And you know, how many times, you know, have we seen someone holding a child in their lap as they're driving down the road, you know?
I see that too.
Yeah. If we would just be more careful, and of course our young people, they're the risk takers. Those young 16, 17, 18-year-olds, you know, they love to climb mountains and jump off cliffs into pools and and wear motorcycles without helmets and all that sort of thing. But that's why our brain injury population tends to be younger.
Yeah.
In most
and you're
cases.
right about that. Oftentimes, of course, the brain injury is a result of someone not paying attention or not thinking or carelessness. But you're right, a younger person will take a risk knowing that there may be consequences. They don't think about those consequences, but they say, it's just a risk, you know. Nobody lives forever, right? Hey, let's just do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big, big mistake to make. You cannot have that attitude.
Well, and lots of times kids think that they will live forever.
A lot of times they do.
Yeah, a lot of our young people don't have health insurance. You know, the 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, you know, oh, well, I'm not going to get sick, I'm young, you know, and then when they have that accident and they end up in the hospital with a brain injury, there's no money for them to get the treatment that they need, and then they end up going back home to a family that really is not equipped to take care of the behaviors that can result, or, you know, the structure that they need in their daily lives to be able to regain footing in life and maybe go back to a different life. Many times we don't go back to who we were before after a brain injury. But so and our state really needs to be more aware of this huge growing population of people who need services.
So where do we find services? And when we have a family member or a friend who has a brain injury, what do we do?
Well, you know, I think poor families are so bombarded by, you know, because a brain injury can happen in a second. You know, anytime, anywhere it can happen. So when it happens, of course, you're not prepared for it. The family's not prepared for it. One good source of information for families is the Brain Injury Association of North Carolina. And you've got their website on the screen, I believe, and there's a toll-free number. Membership to BIONC is free for families and survivors as well. They have a very consumer-friendly website. Survivors can even get a member number and go to member clicks and become involved in, you know, communicating with other survivors. So many who don't get the treatment that they need will go home and maybe they'll be in the back bedroom, behind a door, you know, And they need socialization. They need to come out and talk about, you know, what they're feeling. All of these things are so therapeutic. So BIONC is a good source of information also for the few services that are available in North Carolina for survivors and their families.
Brain injury it can have a major effect on the family. Not only is it depressing to the person suffering from the brain injury, but the entire family suffers.
They do. It can split marriages apart. It can create rifts between family members that are hard to heal later on. It can absolutely devastate a family.
Yeah. The first thing to do is to prevent brain injury.
Yes.
That is the cure. That is the big thing right there. You have to keep in mind the dangers in your life, whether it's at your home or whether it's on the street or whether it's at your business or school. And secondly, should you happen to have an accident or be involved with, or a family member having an accident, help is available through BIONC, which is on the screen right now. If you'll look, BIANC.net, or that number 1-800-377-1464, and it changes everybody's life, doesn't it?
It does.
When there's a brain injury.
And every 23 seconds in this country, someone suffers a brain injury. It may be severe, it may be mild, but it happens every 23 seconds, and more people are surviving those brain injuries, thank goodness.
That's wonderful.
That is wonderful, but it is creating a population of people that need our help. And it is its own disability. It is not like any other disability. And once you've seen one brain injury, you've seen one brain injury, because they're like snowflakes. Depending on the part of the brain that was affected and the amount of impact that was inflicted there. You know, and let's not forget too, there's also acquired brain injury, which is a whole nother realm of strokes, heart attacks, poisoning, substance abuse, overdoses. All of those things fall under the acquired brain injury. What we've been talking about mostly here has been the traumatic brain injury.
Right.
So,
as a result of accident.
Exactly.
My goodness. So again, BIANC.net, BIONC.net, and 1-800-377-1464. My friend Pier Tarrant, our guest today. Thank you so much, Pier.
Thank you for letting me come on, Wayne. I appreciate it, and you're such a wonderful resource for Wayne County and Goldsboro.
Well, you're very kind. Thank you very much.
Have you heard what's happening at Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course? Well, they are partnering with Goldsboro High School and Goldsboro Parks and Recreation. Let's find out what's happening right here in our community. Welcome to the show, guys. Glad to have you. Russell Stevens and Ray Lippert from Goldsboro High School. And of course, we know, Russell, you're from Goldsboro Parks and Recreation, a very familiar face. So tell me what is happening here and why you guys are partnering together, because I think the community might be surprised. Ray, would you start?
Yes, ma'am. We are promoting one of the first athletic Goldsboro High School golf fundraisers, and we're going to be having it at Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course.
So Russell, tell me why they're having a golf tournament at Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course. Is there some type of partnership that has been ongoing?
There is a partnership that's been ongoing, and it's been a good partnership. Actually, a lot of our kids with Goldsboro Parks and Rec, they feed right into Goldsboro High School. From our tennis programs, from our soccer programs, and definitely our basketball program, along with our flag football. But golf is a way that we're going to get the community, and as far as the members that are current alumni that played at Goldsboro High School, they are going to be participating in this golf tournament. And Coach Lippert did a lot of good things with getting the community behind this tournament, as well as just having the people get fired up about Goldsboro High School again.
So tell me, Ray, is Goldsboro High School's golf team your home field, or I guess it's not a field anymore, I guess it's a course, is where?
Yes, ma'am. It is at Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course. We play all of our home matches there. We practice there every day. We have a full team of 11 kids, and we are competing in the East Carolina Conference this year. We are leading the conference for probably one of the first times in a long time. Thank you. We actually have a match today out at Falling Creek. So after this interview, I'll be heading back to the golf course again.
That's the way it goes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So how long has Goldsboro High School had a golf team?
It was early on, in the beginning of Goldsboro High School, they had a golf team. They were very competitive. The golf team actually went away for quite some time. They've reinvented the golf team 8 years ago. Coach Al Sutherland started that back up. He retired and I took over as a golf coach, and we've been running strong ever since.
Excellent.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, tell me more about why you all decided to do, out of all the fundraiser, why did you decide for your sports to do the golf tournament?
I felt it was a good way for the community to come together with the golf course. A lot of our alumni play there at Goldsboro Municipal, and a good opportunity for the community to also help promote their business at the golf tournament.
And how can they do that?
They can do that by $100 whole sponsor, or they can donate any kind of gift cards or anything they would like to donate for prizes at the end.
Well, Russell, tell me more, if you will, about, okay, you've got this partnership, not only Goldsboro Parks and Recs, but the golf course and Goldsboro High School. What a great way to come together.
Right.
And you were discussing earlier about the alumni that continue to come and play at the Goldsboro Golf Course.
Well, we have a lot of Goldsboro High School alum that play there, and that was one of the big keys in getting Coach Lippert to get the golf tournament started there. He recognized being out there a lot, having the kids out there playing, that from a couple of officials that officiate games out at Goldsboro High School. A lot of them graduated. They saw Coach out there with the kids, and they were a big push behind this. They were really looking forward to this golf tournament, and Coach Lippert did a great job of getting everybody, you know, just behind him with this tournament, and I just think it's going to be a great thing.
Well, you know, it's always so nice to hear when you have different local groups come together and really work towards something special. With this fundraiser, what do you expect the funds that are raised to go towards?
Okay, a few things right off the bat. Field maintenance, recruiting trips, continued education for coaches, coaches clinics, food and beverage for sending kids off to different camps over the summer. We are set up to go to the Fellowship of Christian Athletes camp this summer, football camp, and some of those funds will go right towards that. Immediately, I'm sending the golf team to Myrtle Beach next week for a golf tournament, and some of those funds will help pay for that as well.
Right. Tell me why you think it's important for not just golf teams, but any sports team to do things outside of their normal or their typical element. Why does that affect the students so much?
One of the biggest things I look at is exposure, especially for Goldsboro High School. A lot of these kids don't get the same exposure as maybe some other schools, and I think this is a great opportunity for them to get their faces seen, their abilities, their skills, and just really socially as well.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you have definitely got it under control, and things are expanding, and the children are getting so much more experience, and like you said, great exposure. Well, tell us once again when the golf tournament is, where it is, and how folks can get involved and get in touch with you.
Okay. It's May 16th. It's a Friday. It's going to be a 1 o'clock shotgun start. You can stop by the school, or you can stop by Parks and Rec or the golf course.
So all those three areas you can register there.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So $100. Starts at 1 o'clock?
Yes, ma'am. The $100 is for a whole sponsor. For a team, it's $160 to put a team into the tournament.
A team of 4?
Yes, ma'am. Or
just guessing here, making
sure.
sure.
Yes, ma'am. Or $40 per individual. If you don't have a team, then we'll pair you up with someone.
Perfect. Okay. Starts at 1 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
So 3 different locations where you can register, come out, and you can support Goldsboro High School, Goldsboro Parks and Recreation, and the athletic department overall at Goldsboro High School. Fantastic. Sounds great. Is there any information on any of the websites regarding this?
There is not. No,
Okay.
I really kind of put it as a personal thing so they can come see me. I can meet people and also network that way.
There you go. You've heard it all here. If you're interested in supporting Goldsboro High School's athletic department, you can surely join in this golf tournament. They would love to have you. You can stop by Goldsboro High School and ask for Ray Lippert. You can go by Goldsboro Parks and Recreation, ask for Russell Stevens, or you can stop by the Goldsboro Municipal Golf Course. They'd love to have you. The date once again is?
May 16th.
May 16th. It's coming up soon. Love to have you there.
We're back on Wayne Goldsboro Television, and a quick reminder that if you happen to miss portions of the program and you want to see part of it again, we also repeat this program. We'll be back at noon with exactly the same program. We say exactly the same thing.
Yes, we did.
What I'm doing with my hand right now, I'll do then. Just like that. Again, all over again.
Yeah,
okay.
You do.
Okay, it repeats. And then at 5:30, again, the same thing. Or you could go online if you have access to YouTube. Go to waynegov.com, and then the YouTube link is on the right side of your page, right over there. Pardon me. Okay, right over there. It's on the right side of the page. You click on that, and YouTube. Everything we've ever done here is on our YouTube page.
Yes, it is.
You can find it right there, okay?
You can also go to the city's website. It's goldsboronc.gov. Right on the right-hand side is our YouTube icon. Click on that. It'll take you right there, and it'll say WGTV Today. And like Wayne said, you can go all the way back, my goodness, way past a year.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
We do appreciate all of our volunteers that come in and talk about their programs and their events that happen here in Wayne County and City of Goldsboro. We appreciate it. We're here to educate and inform and hope you have learned something through the months
And have a little
about
fun.
your community. Absolutely. Always having fun.
I got to have some fun now.
You got a book sale coming
I've got
up?
a book sale coming up. It is a spring book sale. It's they're only selling books about springs. So,
What?
Right. Huh?
I don't think so.
Maybe not. Okay, anyway, Friends of the Wayne County Public Library are going to have a spring book sale fundraiser to benefit the Wayne County Public Library. I bet you're right about this.
Yeah,
it's about other things
I
too.
think so too.
Thursday, April 24th is the preview sale for Friends members only. Okay, so if you're not a Friends member, then you can't go. That starts at 5 p.m. But the next day, the next morning at 9 o'clock, from 9 to 5 all day Friday, 9 to 5 all day Saturday. That's April 25th and 26th. They're going to be selling their books at the Wayne County Public Library. Thousands of books,
That's right.
thousands of items for sale, nothing over $5. Whoa!
Isn't that something?
Nothing over $5. That's pretty good.
I know.
That's right. You know, yesterday.
That was yesterday.
That was Thursday. Was High Five Day.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, right. Okay. Anyway, the Wayne County Public Library, 1001 East Ash Street, Goldsboro. The number is 735-1824.
You know, they have that as an annual event. They raise funds for the library, and you know, it's such a good a cause, and we do need to go out and support them. And, hey,
Yeah.
$5
Nothing
can't
over
beat it.
$5.
Children's books,
Oh yeah, every kind
novels,
of book
anything
imaginable.
you can imagine.
Yeah.
Go out and
the
support 'em.
library. And again, that's the date on that is April 25th and 26th
You know what?
to the general public.
That Mount Olive Library will be up and running soon. Steele Memorial Library.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, it'll be up and running
Can't
very soon.
Wait for that.
I know.
All
It's a
right.
beautiful building.
Well, today is the 21st of the month, right? We have a 21st of the month. Tomorrow, there's a blood drive at Goldsboro
Oh, is
Milling
it?
Company. Blood drive tomorrow. Goldsboro Milling starts at 8, goes to 12:30. And then the next one after that will be at Wayne Community College on April 29th. All right, so give the gift of life, please. Give blood. Thank you.
Arts Council of Wayne County, my goodness, spring art classes, they have just about anything you can imagine that they're offering. Easter egg dyeing.
Oh,
Yes.
did the Easter egg die? Oh.
Wayne Alley. I know it's after Easter, but they're still having Easter egg dyeing before and after Easter. They're having Mad About Mosaics with Sarah Merritt. Oh my goodness, the list goes on all the things that they offer. Check it out though, right there on their website, artsinwayne.org. You can see all the arts classes and the affordable summer camps that they're going to have. You know, we talk about that every year, that they have camps nonstop, all different kinds of topics. Check them out, artsinwayne.org.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. I guess we are. Is that it for today?
I'm thinking it
Yeah,
is.
why not?
Why
The
not?
producer said, eh. So that means, eh.
That means okay.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow at this same time. Join us later in the day for a repeat of the program at 12 o'clock and at 5:30 p.m. Woo, these words are
I
hard to say.
know, aren't they? Oh, what's wrong?
I'm having trouble talking. Anyway, join us again some other time and another day. We'll be back tomorrow on Tuesday. Until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.